on KXAN.
From KXAN, NBC Austin, this is your news first at 4.
I mean, a tree, it's probably like 120 years old. I always watch it out my window because it's just an awesome tree.
From trees falling across the city.
There were some very happy, not quite happy parents, but really happy kids when we were able to tell them that.
To kids getting the day off from school. KXAN News is following the aftermath of severe storms in Central Texas. Good afternoon to you. We have a busy half hour of news with plenty of pictures you will not see anywhere else.
We're going to start now with pictures of the storm rolling in, and lightning and large hail are the culprits of all the damage you're seeing from Fredericksburg all the way to Austin.
The video immediately following the height of the storm around 10:30 last night shows you the damage in Austin, from mangled metal to toppled trees. And
daylight revealing even more damage. Today, folks are calling out crews to remove trees from their cars and rooftops and their lawns. But we begin with the man predicting these storms.
And are we going to see a similar incident today? Jim Spencer is tracking the latest in the first warning. Don't tell us we're going to see this again, Jim.
This is what no one wants to hear, but it is deja vu all over again. Tornado watch has been issued effective until 10 o'clock tonight. Now, not the Austin area this time yet. Western Hill Country, San Saba, and Mason counties. The Austin area and surrounding area, because of the heavy rain last night and the anticipated rain later tonight, under a flash flood watch. Possibility of flooding in those low-lying areas, particularly low-water crossings. There's the big complex of thunderstorms that caused so many problems here last night. Now we're beginning to see development out here in far west Texas. We think this very well may turn into another big cluster of thunderstorms that moves across our central Texas area later in the evening. I'll have more on the weather coming up.
And many of you have trees sitting on top of your homes because of the powerful winds that went through last night. One of the homes, a historic one in downtown Austin, and KXAN's Laura Skirty is there live to show us what happened there.
And Robert, excuse the noise, we have some major work going on this afternoon. This Victorian home behind me is a landmark here in Austin. Now, nobody lives here. It's an office building for an oil and gas company. And the big tree right here to the side of it, just as much of a landmark. So you can imagine what it must have been like when it was taken down by last night's storms. Folks around here estimate this tree is more than 100 years old. The top of it probably as large as this 6,000 square foot building. Now, just listen to what it was like to see this tree come down on this house at the peak of last night's storm.
It was just, pitching and swaying, and it just was going back and forth about 5 or 10 feet, I guess, at the top, and then it just snapped.
The inside of this house is a mess. Ceiling fans dangling by wires, parts of the tree poking out everywhere. To really give you an idea of the scope of the damage here and the strength of last night's storm, the trunk of this tree measures 10.5 feet around. Take a look live right now. Look up here at this crane taking a huge limb off the top of the house, lowering it down. This is a very lengthy process. They've been doing it all afternoon. It is going to continue here for at least a couple of hours. This is a massive tree, and it's going to take a while to peel it back from this house. People say it's a good thing no one lived here. For sure, they would have been hurt when this tree came crashing down. Now, folks around the neighborhood that loved looking at this tree just hope part of it might be salvageable, but you can take a look here. Chances don't look good. We're pretty much a complete wreck right now. Now, I'll be back a little later in the newscast to show you just what these storms look like. We caught them as they came into the hill country, chased them all the way through Austin. We have some amazing video. You won't want to miss that. Reporting live in downtown Austin, I'm Laura Skirty. Back to you.
Wow, priceless video there. Well, from KXAN Chopper 36, we were able to give you views of the damage that you're not also going to see anywhere else. From the air, you can see this house in western Travis County with that huge hole in its roof. The house is on Texas Bluebell Drive and was hit by lightning. KXAN's Salvia is there on the ground, and we're going to have a report from her later this half hour. Meanwhile, another view from the chopper, this one taking us to a home off Burnett Road. You can see there how a tree in front of the house was pulled out of the ground by its roots, landing on top of the house. No word on any injuries. And take a look. This is an Austin staple of its own, Fran's Burger joint off South Congress and Mary. And here, the large figure attached to the roof, I think it's a girl, was pulled off by last night's heavy winds. You can see how big it is and literally how the winds just made her topple over.
Austin police are investigating the discovery of a body in East Austin. The remains were found in this area on Broadmoor Drive. Investigators are releasing a little information about the death. We do know The body was found face down near water. Video from KXAN Chopper 36 showing a fallen tree limb that may have come into contact with that victim. Soaking rains caused the roof to cave in this morning at Porter Middle School in South Austin. You can see in this video behind me here, crews working to repair the damage. Students at Porter did have school today. They just couldn't use this portable building. Well, however widespread the power outages did happen today, it did manage to close 3 Austin schools, leaving parents scrambling to figure out alternative plans. KXAN Silva Harapetian is following the story live from Barton Hills Elementary School. Silva.
Hi, Robert. It was a snow day. Well, not exactly snow. It was a weather-related day off for a lot of kids here in Austin. Lee Elementary, Barton Hills Elementary, and McCallum High School did not have power this morning, so school officials decided to close the schools and send the kids home. The main concern without power, we're told there's no air conditioning. There was not going to be any air conditioning, and there wouldn't be any food served in the cafeteria. The news caught a lot of students off guard and made for a very inconvenient day for parents.
I was in the hospital last night, so when they gave me medicine, when I went home, I went straight to sleep, and I didn't know.
People were so into our routines that you don't know what to do when all of a sudden, like, you've got 2 kids and you got to go to work and you can't go. And
yeah, parents said they may do. In fact, they took advantage of the fact that they got to spend some more time with their kids at home. Live, Silva Harapeti on KXAN, NBC Austin.
An extra long Cinco de Mayo weekend. Thanks, Silva. Well, speaking of those outages, 17,000 customers are still without power in Austin. Austin Energy crews are hard at work today restoring power outages that left up to 50,000 people in the dark overnight. This is what it looked like in South Austin as the heaviest of the storms rolled through. No lights, no traffic signals. So what kind of work is it going to take to fix these outages across the city? KXAN's Santa Anderson just finished spending the day with Austin Energy. She's live in South Austin with the latest. What kind of day did you have, Santa?
Oh, it's a lot going on out here, Michelle. Check out this tree. I'm at the 3600 block of Wilson Street. That's just off of South First and Alpine. This tree, things like this is a very common sight here. Check out, broke right down. It's still out in the road. It was blocking a car earlier, and people here say that, you know, that's common. Without power, the trees were knocked down and the power was knocked out. Austin Energy is out here trying to make sure things get fixed. The crews were busy all morning picking up the trees and trying to clear the driveways and the roads for several people. Now, South Austin, even an area near Larchmont. Check out that car. That car was blocked, and some people stayed home on Larchmont just to clean up. They say it's something that they had to get done. Austin Energy says because of its tree trimming program, things could have been worse, but it made it better.
We probably could have had close to 100,000, and it would have taken us a week or 2 to restore service, as opposed to the day or 2 that we're predicting now.
Austin Energy says they have over 2,000 miles in the city of Austin to cover, and each year they cover about 470 miles a year. That's 470 miles of tree trimming compared to just 40 or 50 back in the late 1990s. As far as the power is concerned, they expect everyone to be up and running by 8 o'clock tomorrow night. Live in South Austin, Santa Henderson, KXAN, NBC Austin.
Santa, thank you. Well, KXAN NBC Austin is tracking the threat of more severe weather tonight, and we have even more crews now around town looking at the damage. Keep it right here for continuing coverage in this half hour on KXAN News Tonight at 6 and 10.
A drive-by shooting in North Texas. 2 toddlers caught in the gunfire. We're following this developing story in North Texas. The head of the CIA is handing in his resignation. We'll have details of this breaking news in Washington still ahead. Right now, a live picture from Westlake Hills. Our 360 camera looks nice right now, but Jim Spencer saying it could be deja vu all over again. Here is weather forecast you cannot afford to miss. Coming up.
From KXAN NBC Austin, you're watching Robert Hadlock, Michelle Valles, First Warning Weather with Jim Spencer, and Sports with Roger Wallace. KXAN News at 4 continues.
Welcome back, everyone. A search by an APD conspiracy unit leads to cocaine, guns, and cash. 2 people were arrested at a home on Newcastle Drive in southeast Austin where the drugs and weapons were found. Detectives seizing 7 kilos of cocaine, 3 guns, and more than $50,000 in cash.
The search comes after several weeks of investigation and surveillance.
An update now on a developing story from Pflugerville involving a police standoff. This morning, the Travis County Constable's office was called out to this house in Pflugerville. They were trying to serve a writ of possession order, and roommates of the man holed up inside told officers he had weapons. Hostage negotiators were called in but later backed off of the scene. They planned on returning to the house in the near future.
3 people are behind bars this afternoon after a baby and a toddler are critically injured in a drive-by shooting. The 6-month-old boy and 2-year-old girl were hit with shots while they were sleeping inside their Arlington home. The shots were fired from the street and into the front bedroom of the house. Police think the suspects, 2 men and a woman, may have been involved in an argument at a Dallas bar before the shooting. Arlington police say the children's father may know the suspects. Our coverage of the damage after severe storms continues right here on KXAN News First at 4.
From western Travis County, where one family barely escapes when lightning strikes their home. That story is next, Jim.
Could have done without that wind, but boy, the rain was welcome. Take a look. For the first time in a long time, healthy rainfall totals over a wide area, including 3 to 4 inch amounts estimated by the radar from down in Fayette, across Bastrop County, Metro, out in the hill country, as much as 8 inches on the McCullough and Mason County line. Speaking of that wind, check out the weather conditions at Texas School for the Deaf. 84 degrees. Look at that peak wind gust we measured last night. 73 miles per hour. Hurricane force winds blew through the city last night, and a tornado watch is now in effect for tonight. The weather details next.
NBC Tonight is all new with big deals and great drama. Yeah! Starting with America's $1 Million Phenomenon.
Deal or no deal?
Then on Las Vegas, a surprise romance with Dean Cain and a romantic getaway with Jerry O'Connell.
I get used to this.
And on Conviction, a killer will test their skill, and the entire team will come together to stop a murderer.
Do not underestimate her.
Deal or no deal, Las Vegas and Conviction. It's all new tonight on NBC.
We'll take a look at this. New pictures just into the KXAN newsroom from the hill country. Today, residents in Gillespie County are clearing debris from their homes. High winds picking up steam before heading into Austin are to blame for uprooting trees and scattering branches across roadways and on property.
And back in Austin, powerful winds are to blame for this Northwest Airlines commuter plane slamming into a fence at Austin Bergstrom International Airport. There aren't any reports of any injuries or damage to the plane.
Well, there's a lot of damage to see at one home in far western Travis County.
Lightning is to blame for a fire on Texas Bluebell Drive. The fire happening at a house in a new subdivision off of Highway 71. Now, neighbors say this house was struck by lightning around 8 o'clock last night, setting it on fire. A family of 3 was inside, and there's a gaping hole in the roof, and the ceiling collapsed in the room. Steve Deli's 1-year-old daughter sleeps in. Luckily, he woke up to the flames and smoke and got his wife and daughter out just in time.
She's turning 2 tomorrow. And, you know, just little things that you see that you were making her when she was 1 and, you know, just stuff like that. It just kind of comes to those milestones. Kind of hit you kind of hard. And my wife was pretty good until she walked in there this morning, and that was kind of hard for her.
It's a serious matter out there. No one in the home is injured. So far, no word on damage estimates.
And we're going to show you more damage in this half hour, so keep it right here. And I know you want to hear this forecast coming up.
Yeah. A hurricane force winds last night.
74 miles per hour measured at the airport, strong enough to blow that aircraft there away from the gate. And I was out looking at some of the damage earlier in the this afternoon out in the Terrytown area. I saw the biggest tree I think I have ever seen blown over. That was blown over. I'm going to show it to you tonight at 6 o'clock, and it crashed into a family's dining room. They would have been killed had they been in that room. That's coming up tonight at 6. Meteorologist Laura Skirty was out tornado chasing for us last night in the heart of that storm. We never found any tornadoes, did we, Laura? But lots of wind damage around, and she's in downtown Austin right now live with a recap on the storm that caused all that damage. Laura.
Absolutely, Jim. Some of the worst wind damage right here in downtown Austin at 9th and Rio Grande. Take a look at the process using a crane to take huge limbs out of this massive tree that crashed into this historic Victorian home. I tell you what, a crowd is gathering here. This is quite a process, and they're doing a pretty amazing job when you take a look at just how massive this tree is. As you mentioned, we were out in the hill country last night when the first of these severe supercells started to rumble in. We chased them all the way into the city of Austin. Our crews got some amazing pictures just like this. Take a look. The first supercell thunderstorms moved into the hill country around sunset Thursday. As night fell, so did a deluge of rain and hail. Hail the size of $50 fell near Enchanted Rock in Llano County. Just a few miles away, golf ball size hail knocked windows out of a house and a car in Willow City. The storms became even more intense as they swept into the Austin metro area around 10 p.m. Wind gusts topping 70 miles an hour were recorded at the airport and at the Texas School for the Deaf in South Austin. Huge tree limbs, even entire trees, came crashing down all over the city. This branch took out the back window of a Honda parked near the intersection of Guadalupe and Martin Luther King. But the nearly constant lightning took perhaps the biggest toll on Central Texans, sending many parts of Austin into total darkness. Businesses closed, traffic lights were down, and as many as 75,000 Austin Energy customers went through much of the night without power. And of course, no one wants to see a repeat scene of this tonight. Jim, the big question on everyone's mind, more severe weather. Are we going to see it?
That's a possibility, Laura. We have a tornado watch in effect right now. As you can see, we're looking good out there. The air mass is stabilized. The atmosphere really got worked over with those storms last night. But this heat of the day is acting to destabilize the atmosphere over Central Texas, maybe to the point that by tonight we could see another round of thunderstorms move into the area. Let me show you that tornado watch box. It does not include the Austin metro area right now, but does include our westernmost counties out here in the hill country, including San Saba and Mason County. You folks in McCullough County, down in Kimball County, Menard County, you're also included. Tornado watch until 10 o'clock tonight. In addition, a flash flood watch is in effect. This does include the Austin area. In fact, it includes pretty much all of the KXAN viewing area. Those 2, 3, 4-inch rainfall totals with some isolated 6 to 8-inch rainfall totals last night have saturated the ground around the area, and we're here in a drought talking about the possibility of flooding, but that is the way it happens very often when we see droughts come to an end, and hopefully it's coming to an end. This has been some very beneficial rain we've seen over the last, well, month or two, actually. Things are looking up. The drought is certainly lessening. 84 degrees right now, mostly sunny skies. It's 86 degrees, mostly sunny out at ABIA. 7 to 9 miles per hour on the current wind speeds. Temperatures around the area, very warm, very humid out there. 86 in Llano and Fredericksburg, 86 also Giddings and LaGrange. That frontal boundary is what concerns us because it is lying right in the area right now. And when you get a front in the area and a strong upper storm, which we do have coming in, you can get very heavy rainfall, the kind that can produce flash flooding. So in addition to the threat of tornadoes, which also form along boundaries like this, we'll have to watch out for that overnight. That heavy rainfall could be even a bigger problem potentially for some areas. That cluster of thunderstorms that blew in last night fizzled out this morning. Now we're watching back here to the west, and we are beginning to see some development off the higher terrain in West Texas and northern Mexico. And as the upper level storm, I'll show you that in just a second, moves in, we think this is going to turn into another big complex of thunderstorms that will move eastward across central Texas. Showers and thunderstorms breaking out in this area now. There's your tornado watch box stretching from New Mexico all the way into our hill country. And there is your upper level low pressure area moving out of southern Nevada into Arizona right now. As that thing gets closer, more and more lift, more and more energy in the atmosphere will be headed into Texas, and that will fuel those strong to severe thunderstorms tonight. And I'm afraid again tomorrow, it's going to be most of the weekend. In fact, here's Sunday night. We still have another wave of upper level low pressure coming across the state. So initially, earlier in the week, we thought it might be in and out of here in time for another nice weekend. That is not the case now. We could have more strong to severe thunderstorms not only tomorrow, but potentially on Sunday too. Our computer model brings that stuff in overnight and then develops more showers and thunderstorms across central and north Texas again tomorrow afternoon. We show a little bit of a break on Sunday, but late in the day Sunday, may get another little wave of rain and thunderstorms in here, so you need to keep an eye to the sky certainly throughout the weekend. The lows tonight falling back into the 60s, kind of nice with the rain-cooled air, but very warm again tomorrow afternoon, at least the low, I think mid-80s. Tonight in the city, thunderstorms likely late, a little earlier than that in the hill country. Some severe. Tomorrow, mix of clouds and sun, but you have a 60% chance of thunderstorms, some severe. On your Saturday, slight chance still Sunday, even into Monday, breaking the weather on Tuesday, and then another at least slight chance come Wednesday and Thursday of next week. The only thing that was working when I got home at my house last night was my battery charged flashlight and my weather radio, because it plugs into the wall, but it's also got a battery backup. And so I was able to continue to monitor the weather service, and if you bought one of these at HEB, you were able to too during the height of the storm. One of the greatest things about these things, in addition to the fact that they alarm when there is a weather watcher warning, and so you knew the storms were coming last night if you were watching KXAN, or if you had an all hazards radio, which are available right now at a special price of $29.99. I encourage everyone to have one of those in your home.
And the tree you saw topple is larger than the one that Laura Scurdy showed us?
Yes, a lot larger. And
oh, I got to see that.
you're going to see it at 6 o'clock tonight. It is something to see. I'll show you.
Thank you very much, Jim. Well, Congressman Patrick Kennedy is on his way to a drug rehab facility. We'll tell you what he's seeking treatment for next.
This morning, Director Porter Goss offered his resignation as the director of the Central Intelligence Agency.
President Bush making that announcement just about an hour ago at the White House. Porter Goss, a former Republican congressman, replaced George Tenet as head of the agency back in September of 2004. Goss has been criticized recently by some, mostly for bringing with him top congressional aides who were considered too political for the CIA. More U.S. soldiers are dead after violence today in Iraq.
3 American soldiers were killed south of Baghdad this morning. It happened when a roadside bomb went off near their military vehicle. And in Samarra today, north of Baghdad, authorities have announced a curfew as U.S. and Iraqi forces continue to hunt for insurgents.
And more news from Washington today, where Congressman Patrick Kennedy of Rhode Island is going to enter rehab for addiction to prescription pain medication. Kennedy is planning to seek treatment after a car crash near the Capitol at 3 o'clock in the morning on Thursday. Kennedy telling reporters today he doesn't remember any details about that accident. He says he took 2 prescription drugs, one for nausea and one for sleep, causing him to be disoriented at the time of that accident. Keep it right here on KXAN, NBC Austin for these stories and more at 5:30 on NBC Nightly News with Brian Williams.
Here's a live look at traffic on 183 near Lamar, moving smoothly on this Cinco de Mayo. But will the rain ruin any celebrations? Jim Spencer has your forecast coming up.
There's a dangerous drug on Austin streets that your teen could buy legally. Some say it's more powerful than LSD. It causes out-of-body experiences, assuming another identity. So why is it still legal? KXAN's Michelle Valles goes undercover to see just how easy it is for your kids to get this mind-altering substance and just how dangerous it can be. A story every parent should see. The Legal High. Tonight at 10, only on KXAN NBC Austin.
Jim's been working so hard around here lately that the bosses here at KXAN decided he needed a bigger place to hang out, and there it is behind you.
You have a new house.
High-tech, state-of-the-art weather center. I'm so excited. I've been in that little office back there for 15 years, and we gradually accumulated so much, equipment so many tools that we just really ran out of space. But boy, I've got it now. I've got everything that I need right there at arm's length, and real excited about it. We're going to take a closer tour of it tonight at 6 o'clock. But it came in handy last night, and tonight's the big debut. We'll see if we have some more storms to work. It's a possibility, certainly.
Different shot for us. We're going to have to watch our hair back here now.
That's right.
A quick programming note for you, a little something more serious. My piece on Salvia Divinorum will run tonight on KXAN News at 10. Our severe weather coverage with Jim preempted this piece, so you'll want to tune in tonight for this story, a natural hallucinogen. A lot of people are talking about it. Kids know about it. A lot of parents don't. But we will bring you that story again tonight at 10.
More storm damage coverage coming up right here on KXAN News at 6.
Keep it right here on KXAN for NBC Nightly News at 5:30, and Access Hollywood is next.
The news doesn't stop, and neither do we.
Yeah.
For the latest news, weather, and more, log on to KXAN.com. It's all you need in a click.
I know, you get some visual cues back and forth.
I'm Michelle Valles, live in the KXAN studio. Here's what's coming up at 6. Powerful storms ravaged Central Texas. Heavy damage reported all across the area, causing blackouts and even forcing schools to close. Trees on top of houses, roofs ripped off schools, homes struck by lightning. Hitch a ride on Chopper 36 and get a full look at the damage and those picking up the pieces. But the question is there more to come? Severe weather, an update with Jim Spencer on KXAN NBC Austin.
Well, you heard the thunder and saw the lightning last night.
Trees on top of houses, roofs ripped off schools, lightning strikes on homes, and even Fran's hamburger statue blown over. Extensive damage across Central Texas. We'll show you. Plus, more severe weather may be on the way tonight.
Next at 6 on KXAN NBC Austin.
The Most, the show where you decide. We report on the most talked about news stories, blogs, videos, and emails. The Most with Allison Stewart, weekdays on MSNBC.
Holes in homes, streets littered with trees. The strongest storms we've seen in years make a mess of Austin.
The storms blew through the Austin area last night. I'm Jenny Hoff, and from Chopper 36, we'll show you just how much damage they caused.
Damage like this caused power outages all across Austin, closing several schools, making it a fun day for kids, but a headache for parents.
Lightning strikes a Central Texas home, sending a baby's room up in flames. I'm Sally Hernandez with the emotional interview with the parents coming up next.
From KXAN, NBC Austin. This is your news at 6.
Good evening. You don't have to look hard to find destruction today in Austin.
And you don't have to listen hard to hear someone complaining about the cleanup. From massive trees uprooted to roofs peeled off, the damage is widespread. It has homeowners hurrying to plug the holes before the next round of storms. And with a view you can only see on KXAN, our Jenny Hoff toured the damage aboard Chopper 36.
Well, you heard the thunder and saw the lightning last night, but the storms did a lot more than just cause noise. They caused a lot of damage throughout Austin. Damage we're going to show you right now from Chopper 36. We're now here at Porter Middle School at 71 in Lamar. You can see the wind last night tore the roof, literally almost, off of one of the buildings. The men are on top trying to do what repairs they can.
And this wasn't the only roof destroyed.
You're now looking at Fran's Hamburgers, a restaurant that's on South Congress and Merritt. You can see the figurine that was on top of the roof was literally just blown off last night by those strong winds.
The wind also uprooted plenty of trees in front of people's homes.
We're here at a house off Larchmont Drive, right near the intersection of Lamar and Manchac. You can see here a tree fell on the roof of a house. It split down the middle. Here you can see several people in the neighborhood looking at a tree that fell on a house off Sylvan Drive just east of I-35 south of Riverside. And that's the bird's eye view of the damage from Chopper 36. You can see more pictures of damage around the Austin area online at KXAN.com. Reporting from Chopper 36, Jenny Hoff, KXAN, NBC Austin.
And dangerous lightning also caused some damage. We're talking about hundreds of lightning strikes over Central Texas last night, and one hit a house in far west Travis County. Inside was a family of 3 asleep. KXAN Sally Hernandez has their story.
We just heard a big boom and the house shook. Kind of sounded equivalent to somebody dropping, what I keep saying, a cement truck on top of our house.
And it looks like it too. Check out the gaping hole in the roof. That's what's left after neighbors say lightning.
Definitely was lightning. Oh yeah, it was a big bang. I mean, it was definitely lightning.
Hit Steve Delphi's house, setting it on fire.
Next thing I realize, I'm grabbing my daughter out of her crib, which is in the second floor, directly below the fire. Fire alarms had gone on at that point, smoke alarms, and grabbed my wife, grabbed the family dog, and just got out of the house.
The house is not a total loss, but it was close. The roof collapsed in Steve's daughter's room. That brings him to tears. This makes him and his neighbors angry. They say firefighters wasted 20 minutes trying to access a new, dry fire hydrant.
Firefighters came, we called them, they showed up. They used up the water they had in the truck. All of a sudden, they ran out of water.
Every second counts, Steve says, when your house is going up in flames.
The madness, the disgust, or whatever is coming today, now that it's hitting me.
That was Sally Hernandez reporting. At the height of the storm, 52,000 Austin Energy customers lost electric power. Some 17,000 are still in the dark at this hour. Crews working to restore the power still have some 500 locations on their list. Those power outages closed several Austin schools today. KXAN Silva Harapetian continues our storm team coverage from Barton Hills Elementary.
Hi, Robert. Worried about not having air conditioning and also having no food in the cafeteria, school officials decided to give students the day off.
So we just got up and we went to school.
No, we didn't.
Oh, I did.
Oh, I didn't go to school.
Abby and Bonnie attend Barton Hills Elementary School. They, just like the students at Lee Elementary and McCallum High School, were sent home because the school had no power.
But the principal was in the front of the school and she said, "No school today." And I was like, yes!
A day off for the kids, but it caught a lot of people off guard.
I was in the hospital last night, so when they gave me medicine, when I went home, I went straight to sleep, and I didn't know.
It was a big mess over there, and so all the parents were like, what do we do with our children, you know, because a lot of the other parts in Austin have electricity and everybody was going to work.
Yeah, with the house a frustrated parent also dealing with a tree on top of her house and no power. This mom has pretty much written off the day.
The most immediate thing was the lack of coffee in the morning.
At least she had a sense of humor. A lot of people here in this area still without power. Unclear when that power will be coming back on. Keep watching KXAN News for the very latest developments. Live, Silvahara Petty on KXAN, NBC Austin.
And we're also getting word tonight that Singular wireless telephone customers in Austin do not have service right now. The company is still trying to pinpoint the problem and does not have an estimate on when that problem will be fixed.
Hail and high winds blew hit areas west of Austin, leaving debris, dents, and broken glass behind. Hill Country reporter Connie Swinney shows us damage and a silver lining on the storm.
High winds blew this storm through the Hill Country before it hit Austin. You can see here one of the casualties of that storm. Now in areas like Gillespie County, residents spent much of the day cleaning up the mess. Some woke up to find debris and downed trees scattered across property and roadways. In other places, large hail broke windows and pelted cars. Lightning strikes cut power to many residents. Some expect to spend countless hours getting things back to normal.
Pick up all of the broken down limbs and trash, and of course those individuals who had a lot more serious damage are having to do something about their windows and see about getting their windshields repaired.
People here say that this kind of weather is both good and bad. On the one hand, they can do without the damage, but on the other, they like all the rain because it helped to fill their stock tanks and also drench their pasture land. Reporting in Gillespie County, Connie Swinney, KXAN, NBC Austin.
Well, Jim Spencer now joins us from his brand new First Warning Weather Center. How do you like it?
I'm crazy about it. I wanted to give everybody a tour and spend a little time doing that today, but I'm not going to be able to do that because we have so much weather to talk about. But trust me, I'll show you all the fancy details about the new weather center coming up. Well, let's take a look first of all at what is the most pressing issue now, and that is, believe it or not, the threat of additional severe weather tonight. Tornado watch in effect until 10 o'clock for the Western Hill Country and the Austin metro area and adjacent counties to the west now placed under severe thunderstorm watch until midnight. Look at those storms beginning to fire just west of San Antonio, and you can tell for yourself what direction they are moving. You don't want to miss the weather coming up.
Austin police are investigating the discovery of a body in East Austin. The remains were found in this area on Broadmoor Drive, just east of Cameron Road and IH-35. Investigators are releasing little information about the death, but they do not suspect foul play. They do know the body was found face down near water. And video here from KXAN Chopper 36 showing a fallen tree limb that may have come into contact with that victim.
After the rain came, the big cleanup. Austin Energy crews were busy picking up trees and cleaning up the mess.
Santa Henderson will show you just how those crews make a difference before the storm as well. Plus, an historic home bears the brunt of a century-old tree. You won't believe your eyes. Coming up.
This segment of NBC Austin is brought to you by Trulux.
Well, disaster looms over tax reform under the dome tonight. Today was full of walkouts, boycotts, and arguing that has put the session in jeopardy. KXAN's political reporter Rich Parsons is live in the Senate chamber with details.
Well, Robert, the one piece of legislation that would cut property taxes by about 17 cents almost immediately would satisfy the Supreme Court order to fix school finance and could give teachers a pay raise may not even make it out of this chamber. It almost didn't make it out of committee this morning. Watch what happened.
You're not recognized for that motion.
You just recognized me, Mr. Chairman, and I just said it.
All right, hold on a second.
No, I'm not holding on. Call for a vote.
Bit of a political Donnybrook there. Senator Florence Shapiro stormed out of that meeting after trying to pass the tax cut bill without education reform she and much of the Senate wants. She did that because she was trying to head off changes to the bill.
So what are we going to get done?
Didn't like that would change the state's share the wealth system of finance, but those changes made it onto the bill. She says if she can't strip the provision, she will try to block the bill, and that could kill the session. Is nothing out of this session better than what they're trying to do in there?
Yes. Yes, it is.
Absolutely.
It is. That is Absolutely. That is what is happening today is unprecedented in my opinion. And it's not right. It's not right. And yes, it would be worth it to me.
Well, Senate leaders here insist the session is still in fine shape. They can still get this thing done, but you have to remember they've been telling us that at the end of special sessions and regular sessions on school finance for a couple years now, and all those sessions ended in failure. We're live at the Capitol. Rich Parsons, back to you.
A programming note now. We received many questions and emails about the investigation into Salvia divinorum, the legal hallucinogen on the market. Well, because of the dangerous storms last night, we had to postpone it to get safety information out to you first. The in-depth report will run tonight at 10, and we hope you join us for the information parents cannot afford to miss.
Well, it's welcome news in a drought, isn't it? Widespread heavy rain across much of the area last night. Radar estimates as much as a half a foot, maybe more up in parts of Mason County. Big chunks of the hill country receiving 3 to 4 inches of rainfall. Even around the metro area, some radar indicated 3 to 4 inch rainfall totals here in Travis County, down into Bastrop, even Fayette County. Some places not so much up in Williamson County, parts of Hayes, and out around Lake Travis, Burnett, Lampasas, and Sinsaba County. You saw less, but we're going to get more. Take a look at the peak wind gusts we measured last night, right up at hurricane force, 73 miles per hour at the Texas School for the Deaf. More storms are brewing now. Don't miss the weather next.
This time and temperature update is brought to you by Frost Bank.
If you see news happening, call the KXAN NBC Austin hotline 476-2863.
Well, it only takes one look at a downtown Austin landmark to see the force of last night's storms.
The limbs of this tree are larger than most trees in folks' homes. So the trunk of the tree that we measured was 10.5 feet in circumference.
And it's tough to say which is the sadder loss, the massive tree or the historic Victorian home at 9th and Rio Grande. No one lives here. It's an office building. That tree crashed through its roof at the peak of last night's storms.
Tree trimming plays a big role in preventing those scenes and power outages as well. We would likely have seen much more in Austin of the dark last night without it. And KXAN Santa Henderson joins us live with more on how Austin Energy takes a proactive stance on power outages. Santa?
That's right, Robert. Check it out. This tree behind me, this is like a common scene throughout the area. People who live here are using chainsaws to clean up the mess. They've already got a lot going. Austin Energy is busy too. Check out this video. This is what the crews were out doing early this morning, cleaning up the streets, cleaning up driveways. Austin Energy tells us they have 150 contractors who work year-round to clean up the city. They say because of this tree trimming routine, things are much different than they were years ago.
We probably could have had close to 100,000, and it would have taken us a week or two to restore service, as opposed to the day or two that we're predicting now.
Ray Henning says that they cover over 2,000 miles across the city of Austin, and what they do now is they try to do at least 450 of those miles, 450 miles of tree trimming, that is, each year. That's compared to about 50 miles that they've done in years past. Live in South Austin, Santa Henderson, KXAN, NBC Austin.
And just when you think you've seen it all, Jim, you claim you saw an even bigger tree than the one that
I think I saw the biggest tree that fell today. I was around West Austin looking at some of the wind damage. Take a look for yourself. Tell me what you think.
If you drew a line from Exposition Boulevard right off the lake and came straight this way towards the Capitol, that we saw a lot of tree damage last night.
An arborist says this tree was between 150 and 200 years old.
There's really nothing we can do except removal. As you notice, the root system is completely gone, and at that point it's just a candidate for removal.
The family in this old infield home lucky as it crashed through their dining room. A little farther west in Terrytown, this tree fell the other direction.
And my wife says, my God, there's a tree down, and we looked out and this tree was laying in the street here.
It's mid-afternoon, and this street in the Terrytown neighborhood is still blocked by this fallen tree. Neighbors say the city can't say when they might be able to get out here, but they do plan to work through the night at scenes like this all around town.
We still don't have power, and I just called a little bit ago, and they said that it's probably going to be till 10 p.m. tomorrow night.
Well, these post oaks, which are unique to this part of town, are sensitive to overwatering. And that tree right there, if you take a look at the root, you'll see it's just like a sponge. There's hardly anything holding that tree up.
byproduct, I guess, of our desire for green lawns. Irrigation systems sometimes putting too much water down, apparently, with some of those trees that fell around the city overnight. Well, tornado watch is now in effect for the western hill country counties of San Saba, Mason, McCullough, Menard, down into Kimball County. This is a severe thunderstorm watch in effect until midnight. Includes Travis County, Hayes County in the metro area, and then westward into the hill country. The storms that are firing now still down to the south, but they could be moving into the area before too long. Flash flood watch also in effect. Don't see those in a drought too much, but that's a good sign actually for us. Tells you that the ground is soaking up that water at the present time. 84 right now and mostly sunny. 86 degrees. Skies mostly sunny out at ABIA. Winds are easterly to east-northeasterly now at 10 miles per hour. 2.5 inches plus out at the airport last night, making up that monthly total, or rather at Camp Mabry, I should say, out at the airport. Got a little under 2 inches last night, but our monthly total's now looking good. This is what we need in May, especially in a drought situation. Middle 80s, the high temperatures today. There's your pollen count, mole, pecan, other trees, and grass. Temperatures very warm, very humid out there again. The atmosphere is becoming more and more unstable as we get on through these late afternoon and early evening hours. There is a stationary front in our area. That is always dangerous in May because those severe storms like to follow those fronts. Tornadoes like to form on those fronts, and very heavy flood-producing rain. Also very often associated with frontal boundaries, and that thing's going to hang around through the weekend. We're going to have to put rain chances in for all weekend. Don't mean it's going to rain all weekend. We're going to see chances of rain both tomorrow and Sunday. Big storms firing northwest. Big storms beginning to fire now down to our southwest. The closest storms to us right now, west of San Antonio. We'll have to keep an eye on them. Those are tornado watch boxes there extending out into West Texas. Powerful upper-level storms coming out of northern Arizona there will be moving our direction, but we still have waves of upper-level energy even late in the weekend. This is Sunday evening moving across Texas, and even with an old washed-out frontal boundary, we could get more thunderstorm activity. Our computer model flares it up tonight, dies it down in the morning, flares more activity up again tomorrow afternoon, maybe into the late afternoon, a break on Sunday, but late in the day Sunday, potentially more development. How much rain might we be talking about? Half inch, inch and a half, each line representing a half inch. So that would tell you that here in our area, big chunk of our area, we could get another 1.5 to 2 inches on average, isolated heavier amounts. Tonight, thunderstorms likely. Some of them could go severe on us again. 60% rain chance and thunderstorms on your Saturday, some possibly severe. I want you to stay in tune with the weather situation tonight and all weekend. Slight chance on Sunday, very slight chance on Monday, looking pretty good next week. The only thing working in my house when I got home last night was my all hazards radio because it has a battery backup. I'd recommend everybody have one. Yeah. They're available at HEB.
That's the last thing you needed yesterday, working
right.
so hard.
Thank you. You knew
Jim.
what was going on. You didn't need that thing.
Right.
Well, if you were on the road at 6 o'clock, the rush hour recap can barely scratch the surface today. Your best bet is to check out KXAN.com for the story about this house hit by lightning. The bolt sparked a fire right above where a baby was sleeping. We also posted our tour of the damage from KXAN's Live Chopper 36, where you can see house after house with trees down on the roof, plus hail damage in the hill country. It's all at KXAN.com. Check it out right now. Well, we finally get to hear what Cowboys coach Bill Parcells thinks about the signing of Terrell Owens. Roger Wallace has that and more next.
And now, Roger Wallace with your KXAN NBC Austin Sports.
Good evening. They're underway at Dish Falk Field. Longhorns and Kansas prattling each other and maybe racing against the weather. Cowboys minicamp is underway. Of course, Terrell Owens is not there. Bill Parcells was not on hand when the Cowboys signed T.O. Today, he addressed the often criticized receiver for the first time, said he did sign off on the signing.
I don't view it as a gamble. I mean, I'm going to make every attempt to work. It's in my best interest that he's successful, and it's in his best interest that he's successful. You know, the problems that I've ever had with players is when my expectations for the players are higher than theirs. That's when I get hot.
Meantime, in Nashville today, it is underway. Vince Young's first mini camp as a Tennessee Titan. Interesting enough, the guy you're going to see in the picture with him is coordinator Norm Chow. Of course, he coached Matt Leinart in college, and the other quarterback is Cody Hodges, who was signed as a free agent from Texas Tech. All right, last night in Austin, Gilbert Tourbounier, along with the governor a special book signing for the runner who survived an amazing story some 12 years ago in his home of Burundi. The book is This Voice in My Heart, a genocide survivor story of escape, faith, and forgiveness. Again, Tuabonye's tribe was massacred, and he amazingly escaped that, although he was burned badly, came to the U.S., great career at Abilene Christian, and now a fixture in the Austin running scene.
When I wrote this book, what my vision was just to touch life. To be able to survive, it's not for everybody. I survive because of the power of God. You know, when you have a hope and faith, anything can happen. So I want people not to lose hope. Don't ever give up. Keep trying.
One of those stories Hollywood writers wouldn't believe.
That's true. He's an amazing person. And we thank you for joining us tonight.
Wheels next. Don't forget KXAN News at 10. See you then.
The news doesn't stop, and neither do we. For the latest news, weather, and more, log on to KXAN.com. It's all you need in a click. Tonight at 10.
Breaking news, a fire at a home in Austin tonight that ended with a dramatic rescue. We'll have a live report from the scene next.
The investigative story you've been waiting for, the legal high. A report parents cannot afford to miss.
Next at 10.
Friday on NBC.
I'm Jim Spencer. Severe thunderstorm watch continues for the area. So far, all the nasty storms up to the north. Will that change?
See what last night's storms left behind. KXAN Chopper 36 brings you the view you will not see anywhere else.
Yes, I would want it to ban it. I would want my kids able to go buy it.
A legal high. The hallucinogen so easy to find on store shelves. Tonight, the KXAN undercover investigation worth waiting for.
These are gate crashers. We're throwing a party and we didn't invite them.
And new at 10, the immigration backlash. Why some Central Texans are marching this weekend against illegal immigrants.
From KXAN, NBC Austin. This is your news at 10.
Right now, tornado, severe thunderstorm, and flash flood watches are all in effect for parts of the KXAN viewing area.
Will it be deja vu? KXAN's Jim Spencer has the latest live from the First Warning Weather Center. Good evening, Jim.
Good evening, you guys. There are some real nasty storms up to the north, but as of this moment, nothing in the KXAN viewing area. However, many parts of our area under one type of watch or another, including a tornado watch now until 5 a.m. for our northern tier of counties, including Lampasas, San Saba, and McCulloch County. Much of the rest of the area, including the city of Austin, San Marcos, under a severe thunderstorm watch effective until midnight tonight. But you can see for yourself the strong storms, and these aren't by any means all of them, are up to the north and right now moving off to the east-southeast. But they may get into the area just a little bit later on in the evening. I think the atmosphere is just so worked over today from that incredible outbreak of storms we had last night. Things are a little quieter than the Storm Prediction Center anticipated that they would be tonight. However, tomorrow, look out. We'll talk more about the weekend weather in just a few minutes.
A death in East Austin may be weather-related. A body was found on Broadmoor Drive just east of Cameron Road and Interstate 35. Tonight, police tell KXAN News they are investigating this death as a drowning and do not suspect foul play. Video from the chopper shows a fallen tree limb that may have come into contact with the victim.
Last night's storms knocked many trees and branches and caused a lot of building damage. Take this old Victorian home. It's a downtown Austin landmark, serving now as an office building. The winds toppled a huge tree in front and caused all of this damage. Now the inside of the building is a mess. Ceiling fans dangling by wires, parts of the tree poking out everywhere. And just take a look at this. These lightning strikes captured by KXAN photojournalists are beautiful but also dangerous. There were hundreds and hundreds of lightning strikes over Central Texas last night. Jim will bring you more of these pictures and have more on the lightning later in the newscast.
KXAN Chopper 36 captured these pictures of lightning damage you're not going to see anywhere else. From this exclusive bird's eye view, you can see this house in western Travis County with a huge hole in the roof. The house on Texas Bluebell Drive was hit by lightning. A family of 3 inside. There's a gaping hole in the roof now, and the ceiling collapsed in the very room Steve Delphi's 1-year-old daughter sleeps in. Luckily, he woke up to the flames and smoke and got his daughter and wife out just in time.
She's turning 2 tomorrow. And, you know, just little things that you see that you were making her when she was 1 and, you know, just stuff like that. It just kind of comes to those milestones. Kind of hit you kind of hard. And my wife was pretty good until she walked in there this morning, and that was kind of hard for her.
Chopper 36 also brought us these pictures showing what the storms did to this home off of Burnett Road in Austin. Look closely and you can see how a tree in front of the house was pulled out of the ground by its roots. This tree then landed on top of a home.
Wow, and it wasn't only houses. Here's a look at Fran's Hamburgers, the restaurant off South Congress. The famous figurine normally perched on top of the building was not in its usual position this morning. Take a look. The strong winds also blew it over.
The principal was in the front of the school and she said, "No school today." And I was like, yes!
A lot of happy kids. Austin's Lee Elementary and Barton Hills Elementary and McCallum High Schools did not have power this morning because of the storms. So no power, no school, and students got an early start to their weekends.
An anti-illegal immigration rally, that's what's in the works in some cities across the country, including one tomorrow right here in Central Texas. New at 10, KXAN's Jenny Hoff tells us what these protesters plan to do.
Just as these rallies ignited passion in thousands of supporters of illegal immigrants, they also ignited another group for another rally, this one against illegal immigration.
These are gate crashers. We're throwing a party and we didn't invite them.
Lynn Woolley is a conservative radio commentator. He's also hosting what's called a reckoning in Crawford, Texas, a march into President Bush's backyard to protest the president's policies on illegal immigration.
The Republicans want cheap labor. They want virtual slave labor. They are willing to import the poorest of the poor from a third world nation to get cheap labor. The Democrats, on the other hand, are motivated from a totally different standpoint. They want cheap votes.
And the rally organizers say that's why the protest has nothing to do with political affiliation or with race.
It's being sponsored by Latino Americans for Immigration Reform, and the head of that organization, Lupe Moreno, is Mexican. Her sister is the vice president. She's also Mexican.
Other speakers at the rally will include the Minutemen founder, a woman whose son was killed by an illegal alien, and various political figures. Similar to the Support the Troops rally held in Crawford, the organizers expect between 500 and 1,000 people to show up for the peaceful protest.
We're not going out to this area to cause trouble. We're going out to once again be law-abiding citizens who are just working to try and get our point across, to make our voices be heard.
And you'll see signs like these all over the place on Saturday, May 6th. That's when the rally is being held in Crawford, Texas from 1 to 4 p.m. Jenny Hoff, KXAN, NBC, Austin.
The famous Frostbank Plaza building in downtown Austin is going up for sale. The building's owner, Cousins Properties Incorporated, based out of Atlanta, has announced it wants to sell the property. Company leaders say it's all part of their strategy, develop properties and then sell them off at a profit so they can build future projects. The asking price for the 520,000 square foot building has not been determined.
I think they need to do something about it.
This mother is afraid about what a legal high could do to her children, and she's not alone. The hallucinogen that can mess with your mind. KXAN investigates why it's so easy to find on store shelves.
Widespread severe weather tonight just to our northwest. So far, none of it here in the Austin area, but look at these nasty storms. Tornadoes have been on the ground in those things, and a tornado watch issued for part of our area because they're going to brush into central Texas. Will they affect you overnight? Your forecast coming up.
This segment of NBC Austin is brought to you by The Jeweler in Georgetown.
We have breaking news at this hour. Emergency crews are at the scene of a house fire and rescue in North Austin at the intersection of North Drive and East Frondbridge Drive. And KXAN's Chris Willis is there with the very latest.
Robert, good evening. We are at 300 East Frondbridge. That is just like Runberg and Lamar, right in the corner there of North Austin. Let me step out of the way. This is a tragic accident and a tragic situation, but what a story to tell here. First, some of the details. We have one person taken to Brackenridge. This fire, it is a house fire, came in at 8:15. Now the story to tell. Let's go into the house, Juan, right across the street. The neighbors saw the flames coming out of the house. The house is actually located behind those fire trucks you see there. The neighbors went to the house and there were bars on the front window, but they knew someone was inside because they saw their neighbor's car in the driveway. They couldn't get in, so they went around to the back. They saw an air conditioning unit in the window, tore that down and saw a broken window. The woman inside trying to get out. She had cuts up and down her arms, suffering from smoke inhalation. She was trying to get out. They broke the rest of that window, pulled her out, and she was taken to Brackenridge Hospital, again, smoke inhalation, and she had some cuts on her arms and things like that. But her condition right now, we're not really sure. It is serious, of course, because she was trapped in this house fire. But quick thinking neighbors here, we talked to them. We're gonna hear from them a little bit later, maybe on First Cast tomorrow morning, hear their story. But what a situation up here. The neighbors actually go in, start breaking windows. They have bars on the windows where they can't get in the front. They go around back, break it open, and pull her out to safety. So fire investigators are here mopping up things. They're talking to some of these neighbors and witnesses, getting the full story. But that is how we know it tonight. And we're again in North Austin. I'm Chris Willis, KXAN, NBC Austin.
Now to the story you've been waiting for. When it comes to drugs, you think you've heard it all. Well, here's something many parents, police, even lawmakers don't know about. It's called Salvia divinorum, an herb that is chewed or smoked. An herb, some say, that gives you such wicked hallucinations that it's recommended you get a trip sitter. Yeah, a babysitter, to make sure you don't do something crazy. The biggest shocker of it all, it's perfectly legal. Tonight, KXAN investigates. It's called Salvia divinorum, or on the street, Sally D, Maria Pastora, or Magic Mint. For centuries, this visionary herb was used in religious ceremonies for self-reflection and meditation. Today, some kids are using it to trip out. In this report, you'll see what kids and parents are saying about it, how many Texas lawmakers don't even know about it, and how 2 states have already outlawed it. So you're thinking, is this the same stuff I have in my garden? The answer is probably not. While salvia is a cousin to many salvia flowering plants, it's only this stuff, Salvia divinorum, that produces a natural hallucinogen. It's cheap, legal, and anyone over 18 years old can buy it at head shops around town.
I think they need to do something about it.
Claudette Grant has 2 sons soon to enter McNeil High School. Not really surprised at what's out there, she used this opportunity to talk with Brendan and Quinlan about salvia.
Now when somebody comes your way, you exactly know what it is, and that way you won't be in denial of what this stuff is.
While they've talked about many things like peer pressure, pot, and drinking, this is totally new to her.
Anything legal does not mean it's safe. It's safe to the people that are making the money off of it, but not to the parents and the people that are consuming it and the thousands of children it's going to affect.
It's not hard to find salvia on the internet or in Austin, but we wanted to hear the sales pitch. So I took the makeup off, put on a ball cap, cargos, and flip-flops, and walked into the gas pipe in North Austin with a hidden camera.
Hey, is that the like Magic Mint? Or, yeah, is it salvia?
The clerk told me some people like it, some don't.
I know it's completely different. It's an actual hallucinogen like acid.
She also showed me an informative packet and gave me tips how to smoke it, what to do, what to avoid.
But you need somebody with you. Yeah, definitely. Because there's a state of like amnesia and just some people, like they say, it's like good for meditational purposes. Kind of makes things kind of mesh into each other. Like you'll have visual and auditory hallucinations. So they say for a certain amount, you never try to afford to start off with a 5. I don't know how much longer it is going to be legal. Because there was a little bit of a mishap with some young boy. They're trying to blame it on this stuff, but I really, my personal opinion, I don't think it was because of that. So what happened with that kid? He committed suicide.
This is who she's talking about. Brett Chittister, a straight-A student from Wilmington, Delaware. He was using an acne prescription drug linked to depression when he tried salvia. After his death, his mom found writings about his experiences.
He said he went to a different realm. He learned the secrets of life.
According to media reports afterward, Brett had told his mom, this stuff's legal. You can get it anywhere. While she doesn't blame salvia for his suicide, she says it didn't help.
I just think all the things that he had going on, and to add salvia to the mix, it was just a lethal combination.
I did a search on MySpace.com and hundreds of references to salvia popped up. One kid we found wrote, "I was in my friend's room and it turned into a circus where all these clowns and freaks started to come after me. I've never had an experience where you enter another world. I was so confused at how this could happen and how this is legal." That's because while Salvia has been around for thousands of years, it's relatively new on the market. Many Texas lawmakers don't even know about it.
So this is what we're talking about right here.
Yeah. It's pretty amazing.
So we went to visit Tom McCarty, a committee clerk at the state capitol. Bottom line, this guy knows about any Texas bills filed regarding your health.
But nothing's been done.
Nothing to this point.
And until I called him, he had never heard of it and was blown away at what he found on the internet.
Here we go.
Salvia divinorium is already banned in Louisiana and Missouri. Should Texas be next?
Yes, I would want it to ban it. I would want my kids able to go buy it. Don't make it so easy for them to purchase drugs to get high.
But better yet, Claudette says parents need to do something about it.
The best tool is a parent that's informed and a parent that actually talks to their kids, not talks at their children. And I will know everything that's going on.
Now, we should remind you, Salvia is legal to sell in the state of Texas. We contacted the manager of the gas pipe, but they declined an on-camera interview. After seeing our investigation, Tom McCarty says he expects a bill to get filed in the next legislative session. We'll stay on top of any developments.
And now, Jim Spencer with your first warning weather forecast.
Well, what a difference 24 hours can make. Last night at this time, it was a wild scene here in the city. But tonight, as we take a look at the Viper, there is nothing happening in our part of the state anyway. Now, big thunderstorms. These are really strong. A couple of tornadoes have been reported with this cluster of thunderstorms up to the northwest. Just north of our viewing area, there's northern San Saba County. I know some of you folks around Goldthwaite up there in Mills County watch us. Boy, stay indoors as this nasty supercell thunderstorm moves down your direction. That one's produced some baseball-sized hail and possibly even a tornado here earlier in the evening. But again, in the Austin area, as of this moment, nothing to be concerned about. Let me show you the watch boxes, though, that the Storm Prediction Center has placed for our area. First of all, a tornado watch in effect right now for the northern counties. The tornado watch stretching from Milam County back across Bell, Lampasas, San Saba, and McCullough counties. That darker red county, that's the tornado warning now for Mills County. So you folks now under tornado warning there in the Goldthwaite area. Severe thunderstorm watch, Austin and westward, but it looks like this thing's probably going to expire at midnight before we see anything. Now, what is this? Been a long time, but a flash flood watch. Boy, this rain sure has helped our drought situation. In fact, we've had so much of it over a short period of time that ground's pretty soaked, and additional rainfall could cause some flash flooding. But I really have my doubts about whether we're going to see much, at least in the Austin and surrounding counties overnight tonight. More on what's coming in a moment. 78 degrees, mostly cloudy right now in Mabry. 77 under mostly cloudy skies. Very warm and humid out there tonight. Winds northeasterly now, 9 miles an hour. Rainfall total, nice. 2.5 inches plus at Mabry with this storm yesterday and early this morning. Did better than 1.5 inches out at the airport. Our monthly total is looking good for early May. Temperatures this afternoon were warm and humid into the middle 80s. There's your pollen count, everything on the low side. There are your 10 o'clock temperatures, everybody on the warm side, middle to upper 70s. Frontal boundary in the area, that concerns us quite a bit. When you get a front in your area in May and a storm system like the one that's coming out of the western United States, you're going to have some really strong thunderstorms. This looks just like our thunderstorm cluster that we had in our area last night. It's doing the same thing up in this area. And I'll show you my favorite piece of video from last night. Our photojournalist Scott McKinney was out shooting some lightning for us and just got the most incredible lightning picture I think I've ever seen. Watch the bolt. It hits there on the ground on the left side and then shoots back up into the sky almost right there, like a tree branch reaching up into the sky, almost like a ricochet. That was just some absolutely beautiful pictures, but obviously some serious problems. We had hurricane-force winds blowing through the city 24 hours ago at this time, so we don't need this kind of cluster in our area. And very often, the day after you have a giant convective system like we did last night, you'll be stable to the point that you don't see anything. But by tomorrow, our atmosphere will have thoroughly recovered, and with that front in the area and that low-pressure area right there coming out of the southwest, I'm a little concerned about what we could see in parts of central Texas tomorrow in the way of severe weather. Then behind that, we've got more upper-level energy. They'll be riding across the state on Sunday. So in other words, we cannot rule out rain or severe thunderstorms at any point this weekend. The most likely time frame tomorrow. Our computer model blows some stuff up in the afternoon, a break tomorrow night, and then maybe Sunday, just a little flare-up of some thunderstorms, certainly a possibility. We may get another 1.5 to 2 inches of rainfall on average in the area. That is good news as long as it doesn't fall too fast. Tonight, 65 degrees. Thunderstorms still a possibility. You folks up north especially, watch out. Tomorrow, 60% probability of precipitation. Strong thunderstorms, possibly severe. Isolated tornadoes will be a possibility as well. Just a slight chance. I think Sunday's going to be a better day overall. Monday, okay. Hot on Tuesday. And then another chance about Wednesday, Thursday of next week. We'll be on top of it. Didn't get to tell you about our brand new weather center. We've had too much weather, ironically, to talk about, but I'll give you a tour next week.
You have a new house. Thanks, Jim.
I love it, yeah.
Vince Young is happy to be back on the football field now. We'll hear from the former Longhorn star as he gets his NFL career started. Roger Wallace coming up next.
This time and temperature update is brought to you by Frost Bank. And now, Roger Wallace with your KXAN NBC Austin Sports.
Good evening to you, Longhorns and Kansas Jayhawks. It's the final regular season home series for the Horns in Big 12 play. Still a chance to win the Big 12 regular season title, but in the second inning, Jayhawks jump on Kyle McCullough. Gus Milner brings home 2 with that base hit. It's 3-0 in the 5th when McCullough gets drilled right off his foot by Matt Batty. Has the presence to run the ball down and make the play, but he is hurting. In fact, he leaves the game. They'll x-ray the ankle tomorrow and check out his status. He's the ace. That could be serious. Longhorns bounce back in the 5th with 3 runs. Chance Wheelis, the base hit the other way. Fellow Round Rock Dragon Nick Peoples is safe at the plate, and the Horns are even at 3. And then they take the lead. That is Kyle Russell. Remember, Monday slammed into the wall, injured his ankle. Well, how about a home run, and the Longhorns up 7-4. Randy Boone closes it out with the strikeout. All right, answer to our question as the Horns improved to 17-4 in the Big 12. Their best ever Big 12 record, 2004, when they went 19-7. Certainly have a shot at that. All right, Express trying to make it 7 straight, and they do tonight. Omaha Royals in for 4. How about the nifty double play right there by Royce Huffman? And then Luke Scott gets the scoring started with the RBI, and they beat the Royals 4-3 the score. Astros opening up a road trip tonight in Colorado. Preston Wilson, good evening. 3 RBIs, including 2 right here. They are in the 8th inning, and the Astros clinging to a 1-run lead. It's now 4-3. Rangers trying to make it 7 straight. Yankees in town. Alex Rodriguez having a big night against his former club, but the Rangers scored 6 runs in the 8th inning, and it's 8-7. They are in the 9th inning. Well, the Spurs trying to close out the Kings. They trail it by 2, but it's just midway through the second quarter. All right, Vince Young is a pro now. He is with the Titans for a mini camp a couple of days under Norm Chow and Jeff Fisher, trying to get a hang of things. Of course, it's been some kind of 3 months for Vince Young, and he's just happy to be on a football field in a uniform.
Yeah, finally get with the teammates, you guys you're going to be playing with, and basically get out here and learn with the family, all starting from scratch all over again.
I mean, is there pressure that goes with that for you?
No, why should it be pressure? I'm playing football. I mean, this my business. It's my job right here.
Vince Young drawing a lot of attention in Music City.
At least he's got a T on his helmet.
Yeah, I think I'm going to have to become a Tennessee Titan fan.
I think a lot of people around here keep an eye on him at least.
No doubt.
Thank you. We'll be right back.
This segment of NBC Austin is brought to you by Trulux.
Well, what a difference 24 hours can make.
No kidding. You folks up in Mills County, though, you're having some problems tonight. That storm may have a tornado in it headed toward Goldthwaite. Seek shelter immediately. That's just outside of our viewing area, but I know some of you watch us up there. Severe storms are going to be possible again tomorrow. Hopefully less activity on Sunday. The 7-day forecast, we're looking a little drier then, but boy, stay tuned tomorrow. When I got home this morning, I had no electricity. The only thing working in my house, my battery backed up, all hazards, weather radio. This will be really good for your shopping list this weekend at HEB.
Thanks. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Good night.
The news doesn't stop, and neither do we. For the latest news, weather, and more, log on to KXAN.com. It's all you need in a click.
He took all the time.
I see Anna over there.
More than 2,000 drivers a day switch.